Okay, let's jump right in. We are smack in the middle of a massive, really fundamental shift in how we use technology.
Hmm.
And I'm not just talking about AI, generally. This is specifically about the interface, how you and I actually interact with software, with our computers.
Yeah, this isn't just some new feature being added, right? This is a change on a scale we really haven't seen in, well, decades.
Exactly. To really get the size of this, think back. Think back to the last truly foundational change in user
That'd
interface.
be the GUI, right? The graphical user
Steve
interface.
Jobs unveiling the Mac, back in the 80s, showing us pointing, clicking, windows. Before that,
It was all text commands. Like
yeah,
MS-DOS, I remember typing CD this and dir that.
right, typing CD program sword just to open a document.
And the fascinating thing, it'd be a bit ironic, is that with AI, we're almost coming back to text commands,
Oh,
prompting.
but it's orders of magnitude smarter. It's not just syntax. It understands intent.
Precisely.
So this new revolution, the term we're looking at, is the conversational user interface, the CUI.
CUI.
Okay. You've likely used one already, something like ChatGPT. It's a system you interact with just by, well, talking or typing naturally,
Yeah.
prompting it for what you want.
And honestly, ChatGPT, as amazing as it is, it's like the Model T of CUIs. It's just scratching the surface.
Right. It's the very, very beginning of what's possible when you apply this concept to everything else.
Hmm.
And this is why you, the entrepreneur, the business owner listening, you really need to pay close attention here.
Yeah, because if you use any kind of complex business software,
Like e-commerce platforms, ERP systems, that big back office stuff.
inventory management, sales tools, marketing,
I
CRM.
guess to the back end of your website.
Yeah.
The interfaces you click around in today, they're rapidly becoming obsolete.
Rapidly.
So this deep dive, it's your shortcut, basically. Understand what's coming down the pipeline and why being ready isn't, optional anymore.
Okay, so phase one, the first wave. What does that look like?
This is the immediate future. We're talking the rapid introduction of these prompt-based CUIs into your everyday business software, like over the next few years.
So what does that mean for my daily routine if I run a small business, say?
Well, forget logging into your inventory system, wading through dashboards, hunting for the right button in some complex menu tree.
That sounds good already.
Right. You'll likely log in and just be greeted by a simple chat interface, an AI assistant baked right into the software.
Okay. So I talk to it or type.
Exactly. Your first interaction might just be prompting it, hey, show me stock levels for products CDU 789. Or generate the daily sales report for the West region.
Or maybe kick off the morning inventory check, something process-based.
Precisely. Initiate the standard process. But here's where it gets really powerful. Initially, you prompt the system.
Okay.
But as these systems learn your patterns, your role, your business's workflows,
They start prompting me.
bingo. Imagine logging in and the system immediately pops up, morning. Looks like product 789 is running low based on yesterday's sales, and it's not on your standard restock list. Want me to flag it for review or maybe add it to the emergency order draft?
Wow. Okay, so it knows what I probably need before I even ask.
Which is a world away from how things work now, right? That kind of proactive insight that usually takes someone pulling data, analyzing it, manually creating an alert.
An analyst, basically, or just you spending hours digging.
Yeah.
The CUI automates that analytical piece based on learned patterns.
Mhm.
Okay, but I can hear people thinking, hang on, I still need to see things. I need charts, data tables, workflow diagrams. Visuals aren't going away, are they?
No, absolutely not. Visuals are still crucial. They're just not the primary navigation method anymore.
Right, so you don't click through 5 menus to find the Q3 sales graph.
Exactly. You just prompt your AI assistant, show me Q3 sales compared to Q2. And it either generates that visual for you right there, or it takes you directly to the right report or dashboard section.
It cuts out the hunting and pecking, takes the guesswork out of finding stuff buried in those complex GUIs.
Right. And this ties in really tightly with your standard operating procedures, your SOPs.
Okay. How so?
Well, one key insight from the material is that your SOPs basically get baked into this AI assistant.
So the AI learns the routines, the daily tasks, the weekly reports my manager needs.
Exactly. The specific steps for processing an order or onboarding a new client, whatever it is, it can then proactively help you follow those procedures or gather the exact info needed. It's like an intelligent co-pilot for your business processes.
Got it. So that's the prompt-based CUI. Phase one, typing into a chat box. What's next? Seems obvious.
Voice, right. The natural evolution from typing commands is, of course, just speaking them.
And we're starting to see early versions of this, yeah, like with ChatGPT's voice features or Meta AI.
Yeah, consumer stuff, mainly for now, but the potential is clear. Once an AI can understand your intent from text and run a function in your business software.
The next step is just talking to it instead of typing. Remove the keyboard and mouse from the equation for that interaction.
And this is where we finally get closer to that, sci-fi vision. Talking to your computer, your business systems, and they just produce results. Frees up your hands, your eyes.
Okay. So prompt-based CUIs, then voice assistants integrated into individual software. Phase 2. But what comes after that? That raises a big question.
It does, because right now, if you use, say, 6 different software tools, e-commerce, CRM, project management, inventory.
Which many businesses do.
Right. You might end up with 6 different AI assistants, each one stuck inside its own software silo.
And they don't talk to each other. My CRM AI doesn't know what my inventory AI knows.
Exactly. It doesn't understand your whole job, your whole business context. It only knows its little piece.
That seems inefficient. What's the progression then? Some kind of integrated system? A central AI maybe?
That's the dream, isn't it? One master assistant that gets your whole business, talks to all your software seamlessly.
But let's be realistic. Companies protect their IP, their data moats.
Yeah, a single, all-powerful, third-party assistant talking to everyone's systems. Probably a ways off, if ever.
So what's more likely? In the medium term.
What the material points to is maybe multiple individual AI assistants, one per software, but, and this is key, with a powerful bridging mechanism.
A bridging mechanism. Like Zapier or Make Today, but smarter.
Sort of like that, but maybe more like Zapier on steroids for the AI world. These aren't just simple data pipes passing info from A to B.
Okay, so how does it work?
These are AIs that can actually talk to other AIs. Your CRM's AI assistant could have a conversation with your inventory AI.
Which could then maybe check with your shipping AI.
Right, to get you a combined answer about a customer order status, where it is, when it shipped, what's left in stock, all from one prompt you give to one assistant.
How's that different from just using APIs? We connect systems with APIs now.
Good question. Current APIs often need developers to build these really rigid connections. You need the exact technical address to pull just the tracking number or just the order date. It's predefined.
Okay, fixed endpoints.
Yeah. In this CUI or voice world, the AIs themselves, armed with your permissions, figure out how to interact. Based on your conversational requests, they dynamically pull and combine info from different places. They understand the intent across systems, not just specific data points.
Okay. Less rigid, more flexible based on what I ask.
Exactly. So, okay, let's pivot. Let's get to the real brass tacks. What does all this actually mean for you, the business owner listening? Because this isn't just cool tech talk.
No, this is going to fundamentally change how you run your company, like the GUI did. This shift could reshape how we interact with software for decades.
Decades. So, benefit number 1.
Massive immediate benefit. Software just gets way easier to use.
Yep.
And onboarding staff, dramatically simpler.
Right. That steep learning curve for complex software, it kind of evaporates.
Future employees won't spend weeks learning button locations or menu structures. They'll learn how to ask the AI for what they need. Prompting becomes the skill.
Think about the time saved, the training costs cut, how much faster new people get productive.
Huge. And here's another big one. You'll finally maximize the value of the software you already own.
What do you mean?
Businesses spend fortunes on powerful systems, right? ERPs, CRMs, hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions. But studies show they often only use a tiny fraction of the features. Why? Because they're buried deep in the GUI, or too complex for most users to figure out.
So you've got this amazing, expensive tool, but you're only using it like a basic hammer because the advanced stuff is hidden or intimidating.
Precisely. With a CUI, you prompt the AI assistant for the outcome you want. Help me analyze customer churn for Q2. You don't need to know where that function lives.
The AI figures it out.
The AI understands your intent and taps into those powerful, often hidden capabilities within the software to get you the result. It unlocks value you've already paid for, but couldn't easily access.
That's huge. Okay, what else? You mentioned development.
Right. For anyone involved in building custom software or even just configuring systems, this has major implications for development costs.
How so? Building GUIs is expensive.
Incredibly expensive. Building complex, pixel-perfect graphical interfaces often blows budgets and timelines. Why? Because different stakeholders want different things.
Scope creep. The classic nightmare. Everyone wants the button moved or a different chart.
Exactly. Endless rework. Going forward, development can focus more on building powerful, robust back-end functionality. The stuff that actually does the work
And the interface.
becomes a simpler AI layer on top. The user defines their interaction needs through conversation, through prompts. This drastically reduces the need for costly custom UI design and rework just to satisfy every visual whim.
The material actually mentioned companies already doing this.
Yeah, examples of companies actively deciding to shelve planned complex visual screen developments and instead build out a CUI approach. They see the cost savings, the flexibility.
Wow. Okay. But this can't all be smooth sailing. There must be challenges. Big hurdle.
Oh, absolutely. Security is a massive one.
Yeah.
Huge and incredibly complex in this new world.
How do you stop someone from just asking the AI, hey, show me everyone's salary or give me all the customer credit card data?
Exactly. We need incredibly robust system-level security. Preventing casual prompts from accessing sensitive data is paramount.
Now, current systems have user roles, permissions, AI access rules are being built in.
Right. Those are the essential foundations. You need those.
Yeah.
But as AI gets deeper, and especially if it starts interacting across systems via those bridging mechanisms we talked about, managing who can ask what of which AI across which system based on their role, their context, it gets significantly more intricate. It needs serious, serious thought from the get-go.
Okay, security, major hurdle.
Yeah.
What else? What about people? Like UI, UX designers? Their job is building those GUIs we might not need as much.
That's a crucial question, and the source material is pretty clear. Those roles must evolve drastically.
Evolve how?
If traditional GUIs fade in prominence, designers can't just design buttons and menus anymore. They need to learn how to design for conversational interaction.
Designing the dialogue flow, the AI's personality almost.
Exactly. Thinking about user flow through dialogue, the tone of the AI, and crucially, how the AI transitions from that conversation to presenting the visual data effectively.
So they still design the output the AI shows you, the charts, the tables.
Yes, their skills aren't obsolete, but the focus shifts. It's about designing the AI interaction experience and then orchestrating that visual output rather than designing static screens full of controls.
Got it. Designing the conversation and the data presentation, not just the clicks.
Precisely. Adapt or get left behind, essentially.
Okay, let's bring back that parallel you mentioned earlier. The GUI revolution needed new hardware. The mouse became essential. As we shift to CUIs, to voice, what hardware might become less necessary? What gets disrupted?
Well, it really makes you think about the mouse, doesn't it? Glued to our hands for decades.
Yeah.
If we're primarily prompting, either typing into a simple chat box or just talking that need for precise point-and-click interaction, it diminishes a lot.
Which could even impact things like website design, which relies so heavily on mouse clicks and hovers.
Absolutely. And looking even further out, the keyboard.
The keyboard. Wow.
It's been fundamental since day one of personal computing, pretty much. But in a truly voice-first world, where you're just talking to your AI assistant to get business tasks done.
Do you really need to type that much?
For many daily activities, maybe not. The physical keyboard's role could be drastically reduced.
Now, okay, some of this is years out. We're not throwing away keyboards tomorrow.
No, absolutely. But it's vital to be thinking about this trajectory now, especially if you're making significant tech investments where you're involved in developing custom software for your business.
So practical advice. What should a business owner listening right now be doing?
The most pointed advice really stemming from this perspective is directly for you, the business owner, or anyone commissioning software. If you are developing software right now, today, and a big chunk of that budget is going towards building a complex, custom user interface.
Pause.
Yeah. Really pause and rethink that. Hard.
Ask yourself, are you spending heavily to build for how computers are used today, or how they're going to be used, likely very differently, in the next couple of years?
Because the speed of evolution here is just breathtaking. The thinking around how this will play out is literally changing week by week.
Which is why seeing companies already pivot away from planned GUI complexity towards CUIs is such a telling sign.
It really is. The shift is happening.
Okay, so wrapping up, we've taken a pretty deep dive into this revolution sweeping through user interfaces, the big move from the graphical interfaces we all know,
to these new conversational interfaces, the CUIs.
starting with text-based prompting, which is happening now, evolving towards voice interaction, and then potentially leading to these sophisticated AI systems that talk to each other to get things done for you.
And we've really dug into the implications for your business, making software way easier to use, finally unlocking the value in those expensive tools you already own.
And potentially saving significant money on future software development by focusing less on the visual bells and whistles and more on the core function, letting AI handle the interaction layer.
But also hitting those critical challenges you need to plan for. Security, security, security.
And understanding how vital roles like UI/UX design need to transform. It's not elimination, it's evolution.
Right.
So here's a final thought for you, our listener, to maybe chew on. Imagine that future, maybe not so far off. For many of your core business tasks, your hands are free, no keyboard needed, no mouse.
You just converse. You talk to an intelligent assistant deeply integrated across your entire business software stack. It understands your goals, anticipates your needs, and just gets things done.
How prepared are your business processes for that, your technology strategy? And maybe most importantly, your own way of thinking and working. How ready are you for that reality?
Because that future,
Yeah.
it feels like it's getting closer, faster than many people think.